Hi everybody, it's Alan Beebe here at TrueAiki.com again. We're in the studio and I'm going to do what I told you I was going to do. I'm going to do a quick once over of the Aikis again, and then also I'm going to talk a little bit about kokyu. Before I begin, let me point out that this isn't my model. I didn't come up with this, all right? I'm just relaying what somebody else, how they laid it out as a model, and they borrowed from somebody else as well. The model that I use in my head is a little more simple than this. And as far as the three Aikis are concerned, once again, that's not my model. What I noticed was that usage by Ueshiba in his writings. He wrote about Aiki in three main ways. And so it's kind of a mistake to say, well, Alan's three Aikis and his idea of this or that. I wish I could take credit for that, but I can't. It's not my deal. All right, so let's take a look at this cosmology again. So behind me I have posted here, starting with mu, then ichirei, niki, sangen, shikon, hachiriki. And these are just numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. All right. We start with mu, or wu. It's the Tao that can't be spoken of. It's ineffable. Even to say mu is probably a mistake, but we're human beings, so we say something. Then it goes to ichirei. That's one spirit. And this can be depicted in this manner. Ichirei. It is a singularity. It is unified, non-differentiation. It is, you could say, God. In Shingon they would say Dainichi Nyorai. Those are how we describe, the singularity, non-differentiated. How do we do that? We differentiate it. So as soon as you open your mouth, you end up outside of here. Then you have Ni-ki, two forces or two keys, and this is the one of the oldest representations. This is from China, and this side represents water and fire. Sorry, this side is fire, and this side is water. You can see there's water in the fire, and there's fire in the water. If you didn't have one, you couldn't have the other. And this gets to the idea of interpenetration, where in Buddhism we talk about Indra's net, and that's where you have this net, kind of a grid, and at each node connection of the net there is a jewel. It's a perfect jewel that reflects, and it reflects all the other jewels. And so what you end up with is that each individual has the whole, and the whole has each individual. Okay, so that is that, and you can see the beginning of the Niki, this polar relationship. Then we end up with this thing sort of happening. So you can see again, here's the fire, here's the water, and they're starting to swirl, and this is considered to be the Wuji. So we have the greater Wuji, we have the undifferentiated middle Wuji, one's giving rise to the other. There's a commonality also in when Ueshiba would give his lectures, he would have circle and make a dot, just like we had on that last paper, and say that's the origin, and then it would swirl out like this in this kotodama progression. But if you follow it, it has the same sort of a shape, and we get the idea that this is the universe, but this is also ourselves. So back to that idea of interpenetration. One is a macrocosmic, microcosmic, one is a reflection of the other. Okay, and then finally you get to this here guy, and by the way, this, if we look at this, you see, yeah, this gives us to Sangen, because there's this third entity here, isn't there? Okay, and so that's so we have heaven, earth, and man, which is, again, supposedly, it's very human-centric, but we're a reflection of the greater thing, and these are unified within us. And if you read any of Ueshiba's writings and other people's writings, that, you know, it's kind of all about that. Okay, so I'm going to go back to here again. This is a more common symbol, and we have fire and water again. They're interpenetrating again. Where'd that circle go? Well, it's this. This is the high bridge of heaven right here. Okay, that's kind of where we exist, or you could say this is where we exist. They're interpenetrating, so it goes in and out. It just depends on your perspective. You know what you're referring to. People get into big arguments about the thing. People get into arguments about the names and the colors and everything like that. But whoop-de-doo, right? If you have the time to do that, that's fine. I like to think of this as three-dimensional now at this point, because one is swirling out and then coming and then giving rise to the other and swirling out like that. Okay, Shikon is, so we had fire and water, right? And now we have, now we have heaven and earth. And so you have two planes, and then this gives rise to Hachiriki, the eight different powers.